Welcome to the Diane Ingram Show. I'm your host, Diane Ingram. On today's show, I'm going to be coaching Tim McAllister. And Tim has set some goals for himself to produce several shows here at Comcast of health and wellness. And his intention is to help people to start taking better care of themselves. And so he wants to give them some ideas of ways in which they can do that. But before we meet with Tim, I want to talk about my gift box. I brought it today, and this box represents the gift of who each of us are. Each of us has qualities and a purpose that we're here on earth meant to express and to live. One way that we can clue in on what that purpose is by finding out what it is that gets us excited. What are we passionate about? In the case of Tim, he's passionate about health and wellness. And he also likes producing shows. So what he's doing is he's using that medium of producing shows about health and wellness to give to the world in that particular way. And I suspect people watching those shows will learn all kinds of new, interesting ways to take care of themselves and hopefully be motivated and inspired to do so. We all have these gifts and these reasons for being. And when we can clue in, first off, to what we're passionate about and what ways we want to share that gift with the world, then we can decide what it's going to look like when we put it out there. When we're each sharing our passions with the world, we're feeling completely fulfilled and excited about life because we're doing the things that we're really passionate about. And the world is a better place because, A, it's experiencing us as being passionate, fulfilled people, but also the gift in the way we're giving it is being received by people and hopefully affecting their lives in a positive way. What a world this would be if we all were living on purpose, sharing our gifts with the world. Now, when I say we all have gifts, what comes up for you? Oftentimes, people say to themselves, or they'll hear this negative self-talk, oh yeah, right, like I have something. I have no talents. There's nothing I'm able to do. I'm here to tell you, we all have something to give, and we all have talents. So when we clue in to what those things are and express those in the world is a much better place. So beware of that negative self-talk, because when we hear that self-talk, that's what trips us up every time. And that's what gets in the way of us living a fulfilled, full, expressed life. So think about it. Stay tuned. I'll be meeting with Tim in just a few seconds. Hi, I'm your host, Diane Ingram, and today we have Tim McAllister with us. Welcome, Tim.
Hi, Diane.
Nice to have you back.
Thanks.
So last we were together, we spoke about you taking some videos possibly on your camera and putting them up on YouTube. How did that go?
What I was going to do is I was going to take my iTouch. It's not even mine, it's my wife's. And I was going to take some video and put it on YouTube, but I didn't get around to it.
Okay.
I have been busy doing shows. I've done plenty of shows.
So tell us about that.
So far I've done about 9 shows. I've done 8 yoga shows. We have a show called Putnam Yoga Scene, which is on weekly, right before your show.
Okay, great.
And then I did a Reiki show, a show about Reiki, which is a way of treating people or healing people with energy.
Very nice.
The Reiki practitioner passes energy through the patient. I'm not sure yet exactly how it works, but I'm still learning that. But anyway, the show came out great.
Very nice. So when you say that you did these shows, what role did you play in that?
I produced it. I brought the people together and We have the Comcast studio here, which I've been using. Eventually, I want to go out in the field, but it's much easier to do it right here. It's so easy that I brought the people in. This is our yoga studio right here. We set up the yoga mats, and we put up backdrops and some different props, and they did their shows right here. I had 3 different teachers so far.
Wonderful. So your intention for doing these shows, what was that? I know you talked about it in the very first time we met, but
I started doing yoga myself, and it's not just yoga, but it is one way for people to help themselves, and it's physically, but also mentally too. It helps you physically and mentally, and I kind of want to get that out to people. Most people in this country look at yoga as a exercise, like a Pilates or calisthenics or weightlifting, and it's just a substitute. But really, that wasn't its intention. Its intention was to help you to live in the physical world. And part of that is exercise. It was only a small part of it, really. But that's the part that translates best on video, because there's action. And the other parts of yoga is mostly thinking, and, it's not as exciting.
So how
exciting for me,
right?
But not as exciting for a viewer who's not, informed about what yoga is.
Can you share that excitement right now and explain the aspects that don't show up as well on?
No, because I'm not an expert. I'm just learning myself.
Okay.
So I'm not going to pretend.
No, but it's like it's helping you spiritually or mentally to relax. Is that
to relate to other people, to relate to the world, and to relate to yourself, and then maybe someday to reality. So
very nice.
See if I get there.
Yeah, yeah. So when you had this idea of using your iTouch to record little vignettes, is it to put up on YouTube? What was the idea of what would you be recording?
That is probably the reason why I didn't do it, was because I didn't have anything specific that I was going to record.
So what did you learn about yourself about setting a goal but not being specific enough, maybe? I mean,
I guess if I had something specific and a deadline, that the deadline was for when your show was, but I wasn't sure until a few days ago exactly when the show was going to be. So maybe if I set a hard deadline and came up with an exact topic and an exact length and put that down, maybe that would help me.
Yeah, because when we set goals, then they're kind of amorphous, and we're not sure when we want to complete them by or exactly what we want to do. It's hard to proceed because we haven't nailed down the specifics of it, and it's hard to kind of wrap our minds around putting that in our schedule and figuring out exactly what it is to do, or to move forward with it until we figure out what it is we want to do. What else do you think got in the way of you doing this piece?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't something that I intentionally didn't do. I think if I had something specific, what I could do maybe is break up my shows and put small portions on. I've been concentrating on doing 30-minute shows, and I haven't been working on doing, small pieces like I was intending to do with the iTouch. I guess if I came up with something, like maybe one specific pose and did an instructional piece with one of the instructors of maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then put that on.
Yeah, so I also want to ask you, what is your intention of doing these shorter things? What do you think the value of that is for people?
The reason I wanted to do it was because I wanted to get on the internet.
And why is that?
Just for wider exposure, to learn how to do it. And I mean, if you're doing something worthwhile, you may as well, put it out there for everybody. The opportunity's there now. Public access television was started, 40 years ago when the internet wasn't existent. So now it is, and that's really the route of the future. So that's what I was thinking.
And was the technology piece a bit of a trip up also?
I don't think so. I don't know how difficult it is because I haven't done it, but I know a lot of people do it. I know there's 13-year-old kids that are posting daily on YouTube, so it can't be that difficult.
Well, sometimes the 13-year-olds are more savvy than us older folks, but it's very simple. If you have a CD and you put it in your computer, you go to YouTube, you open an account, you go to YouTube, and you click on it, it says upload video, and boom, there it is. It takes a few minutes for it to upload according to the length of the video, but it's very simple.
So you did this with your show?
I did that with my show, yeah.
Now, when you say you put it onto YouTube, you must have put it some place specifically.
I have my own channel there.
Okay.
And so if you go to Diane Ingram, LLC, or just even Diane Ingram, I think my channel opens up and I have several videos there. But you don't have to have your own channel. You can just open an account with a Google email and password, and then you can upload your video. And then whatever your username is where you can do the search for that video.
So if people search Diane Ingram on YouTube, you'll pop up.
Yes, I will.
Regardless of whether you have your own channel or not.
Yes, that's right.
But you formed your own
And if
channel.
there's any other Diane Ingrams, they'll pop up also. So by having your own channel, you have everything all in one place that people can find you easier. But yes, that's right.
So when you put the CD in or the DVD, it's just taking the file off the DVD. So if I were going to do it from my camera, it would be the same thing basically. I could plug the camera into the computer instead of because I didn't intend on making a DVD.
I would think so. I would think you could just take it right from there. Yep.
Okay.
So it's very simple.
All right. So maybe if I have something specific to do. What do you think is a good topic?
What do you think is a good topic?
I guess I'll stick with my show topic, the current show that I'm doing, and try to do a demonstration. I'm going to have to get somebody to demonstrate because I am not an expert.
Right. So I think as long as you stay in touch with your original intention, because oftentimes when other things come in to introduce them to us as opportunities, we get lost about the original intention. So the original intention that I remember you talking about was educating people about how to take better care of themselves and introducing various methods in which they could do that with. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if that's your original intention, then by doing these shorter vignettes or pieces on YouTube, isn't that another extension of that same?
All right. So maybe what I'll do is I'll change my goal and I'll change it to getting onto YouTube, but I'll take the footage that I've already shot because I have hours of shows out there already. So what I can do is either break them up, or if I can put them on whole, I'll try putting them on whole.
Yeah. That's another thing that happens is you can actually what it's called, I think it's called verification or something, because there's usually a 10-minute limit on for how long the videos can be, 10 minutes. But if you verify who you are, which means that you're not some spammer or other dark person putting up, other like pornographer or something putting up videos like that, they'll allow you to put up longer videos. So that's another thing you can do.
Oh, okay.
And once again, it's very simple. It's very user-friendly.
What's the limit? I could put a half-hour show on?
You put a half-an-hour show on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
so I can help you with that.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's my new goal.
Okay.
I'm going to change my goals. So change is inevitable anyway.
Yes, it is. So let's be very specific. So.
Oh, you're writing it down.
I am going to write it down. Because in writing it down, it becomes more real. When we have ideas in our head, we often say, someday I'm going to do that. But when we commit it to paper, it's the first step of manifestation.
All right.
Because it's real here on this piece of paper. So if we were to write down Tim's action steps for next time, what is it that you would like to commit to?
How about, well, if it's as easy as you say, I'll put all my shows. I'll put 8 shows on YouTube.
All 8 shows on YouTube.
9, because I'll put the if
9.
I have permission, I'll put the Reiki show on also.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to go to YouTube and figure out how to do that, and I can help you with that, and you will
And I
post.
may as well make up my own channel with
Okay.
the name of my show.
Okay, so create a channel.
And I'll create a channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'll upload the shows from
Mm-hmm.
those shows are all on DVDs. So from what you're saying, it should be pretty easy.
Yep.
You put the DVD right in your computer, and then
it's just, and click on upload, and there you go.
now I have portions of the DVD I don't want on. So how do you do that?
That gets a little more complicated.
So I might have to make new DVDs. I might have to make them with exact.
Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not that technically savvy,
Okay.
But I do know that for me, a novice, I figured it out pretty simply. So I'm sure you can handle this. I'm sure you can figure it out, but I can help you with that. So you're going to put all 9 shows up on YouTube. You're going to create your own channel. Anything else that you want to commit to between now and next time we meet? Okay. So what do you think this will bring to you by doing this as far as well-being qualities? How's that going to enhance your life or your state of being to do this?
I guess I'll be able to tell people to go see what I've done, and if they like it, if it helps them. I think on YouTube you can check your views too. Here on public access television, we have no idea if anyone's watching or not. We really don't get a lot of feedback. So I guess I'll be able to tell, how many people have viewed it.
You
13
can,
people.
You can, and a funny story is that I knew someone who posted something, was very excited. They kept visiting it each time and saying, "Look at all these people viewing," and they realized that half of those were themselves checking it. So that's another
Look,
piece
it's
to
up one
remember.
more.
But what I'm asking you for is, how does it make you feel knowing that you've produced 9 shows that are going to impact people positively in the area of health and wellness, and that you're going to actually be putting them up to a broader audience on YouTube? How does that make you feel?
Well, if it says 13 views, I won't feel as good as if it says 1,300 views. So
Right.
if it's getting out there and people are looking at it, that means it's probably worthwhile. If nobody's looking at it, then maybe I'll try something else. So I'm not going to project how I'm going to feel in the future about this. I'm just glad that I'm doing it. I'm just like going with the flow right now.
Yeah, and I'm not asking you to project. I'm asking because you've already created 9 shows. So how does that make you feel? Like the fact that you're doing this, you're in the middle of this process and you're doing this.
It feels good, but it feels incomplete. It doesn't feel as though I'm done, and I don't think I'm done. I'm going to keep going, and if the shows change, or if I change to a completely different topic, then I'll go with that. But yeah, it feels good.
So
I feel good.
Tell me more about good, because good is kind of this blanket. If you were to kind of look underneath good, like what's there? Can you be more specific?
Not anxious and fearful about what I'm doing.
So if you were to,
So I don't feel bad.
okay.
So let me put it
All
that
right, so
way.
if you were to
I'm not-
flip over being not anxious, because oftentimes we talk about what we want to get rid of. So what's the opposite of not anxious? What is it that comes in by not being anxious?
I guess you mean confidence?
Confidence. You feel confident. What else? And you said not feeling bad. So you're feeling confident if you're not anxious, and you're confident, and what else?
I'm relaxed.
Relaxed. Okay, good. Great. Well, thank you, Tim. I look forward to seeing you again soon and hearing how it went.
It's going to be all 9 shows on YouTube. Very soon.
We got it.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
It's a deal.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Welcome back. We were just talking with Tim about what he wants to do creatively by producing these TV shows about health and wellness for people. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about how to get your creative ideas and juices flowing. One of my favorite ways to do that is to read books by people who are doing that, as well as self-help books to kind of help you get going. One of my favorite artists is Julia Cameron. She wrote a book years ago called The Artist's Way. And what is really nice about this book is, first off, she talks about two important things to bring into your life in order to get your creative juices going. One is called morning pages. And what that is that each morning, before you do anything else, you get up and you write 3 handwritten notebook pages. And she used to call it brain drain. So the idea of this is not to make pretty prose. It's to just kind of dump whatever's going on in your brain onto the page. She suggests using an old notebook, nothing too precious like a nice journal. And she likes handwritten. You can do it on the computer, but she prefers handwritten because she feels like that's a closer relationship with your subconscious. But you can try it either way. And the idea is that you're dumping all the worries, all the things, maybe the bad dreams or the whatever is going on with you onto the page. When I practiced this process, it was just remarkable. And I go in and out of it. I do journaling sometimes, and then I'll go into a morning pages phase, which requires some time in the morning. So you need to build time into your day. But what's remarkable about it is you don't even realize what's kind of simmering in the back of your brain. And oftentimes, whatever's sitting in there is really affecting your mood during the day, your attitude, your energy level. So by getting it out and on the page, first off, you realize what it is that you're kind of avoiding dealing with maybe, or something that's just kind of sitting there, an idea that you really want to put out in the world. And you can even talk about what's in the way of that. So that's one of the things she talks about. The other thing that she talks about is the artist date. And what that is taking yourself to some place you don't normally go. We kind of go on the same tracks every day, kind of like a mouse in a maze sometimes. So it's taking yourself someplace that you don't normally go and on a date, all by yourself. And it might be to a sewing store, looking at fabrics if you never go there, or to a record shop and just perusing the record bins, or to a flower shop to look at flowers, but just to bring in new ideas and places that you maybe always thought, someday I'll go there. So now's the time to take yourself there, because someday's here. She wrote a second book. She's actually written many books, but she wrote another one that's similar to The Artist's Way. It's called Walking in This World. And in this book, she brings in the aspect of walking each day and how that's also a way to clear your head. So it's morning pages, walking each day, and an artist date. I find these books really inspiring and helpful for me to get going with my creative juices. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in today. We talked about taking your gift out in the world. First off, settling in and finding out what it is. So between now and the next time we meet, if you would just take some time and sit down, maybe do some of the things we talked about in The Artist's Way, the morning pages, and do some free writing. That will help you get clear on who you are, what your gift is that you have to take to the world, and what way you might want to do that. Email me what you come up with. I'd love to have a dialogue. And maybe if you're willing, I'd like to read your emails on TV about that. It's really important to clue in to what's your purpose here? What is it you want to give? Life is so short. Trust me, I know where at this point in my life, it feels like it's blasted by. So life is short. By cluing in to what it is, how you want to spend it, what's the most fulfilling thing you can do? What's your purpose? And how do you give that purpose to the world? In what form of a gift you can give that purpose to the world? You're going to be fulfilled, the world is going to be a better place, and we all win. You've been watching The Diane Ingram Show. Thank you very much. And reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you.